Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to uh, the N.W.A. Nerds with Attitude. We here at the Nerds with Attitude do nerdy discussions. We do nerdy debates, reviews, or sometimes we just chat about things about animation and video games, whether it's popular, underrated, niche, old, and everything else in between. We will put our 2 cents in it. Today, we will be talking about a game where we talk about a game that's pretty, I guess, relevant for what's going on right now in the world, because the world's lost its goddamn mind. But because everybody knows about coronavirus right now. But today we'll be talking about Last of Us to get ready for Last of Us 2, which comes out in another month? Is it a month?
I don't know.
2 months?
Maybe.
Is it May when it come out? Or
I
June?
don't know when it comes out.
I think it's May, but we'll see if it sticks to that after all this stuff.
Well, those two people you heard right there are, the regular Goon Squad. We got Artist Supreme, Isaac.
Hello. I didn't know what to say for a second. I froze.
And we got Hot Pocket, Noah.
What up?
And me, Shin the Hero, aka y'all doing good today?
Yeah.
Y'all try to.
I guess so.
Being safe. Y'all being safe out
Yeah.
here. Y'all washing your hands.
Yeah.
You got the toilet paper.
I don't got nothing.
Oh no.
But I got some, but it's the normal supply. I don't got no extra.
Oh well.
So you just not worried?
I mean, we poor.
Yeah. Big on that one, man.
Can't just go out and buy 10 rolls of toilet paper. That's a lot of money. I'm gonna buy the standard supply and call it the day.
Yeah. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of our discussion, I gotta one of these gotta go for.
Okay.
All right. So we got Nintendo. This includes the Wii, the Wii U, and the Switch, and everything that came on those games, on those systems. We got Xbox 360, what is this one? Xbox One S.
One.
Yeah, Xbox One. Yeah. And everything that comes on that, and then we got PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4.
Wait, PlayStation get all these consoles, but the other ones don't?
Yeah, the other ones. I mean, we can put in for Nintendo. They could get the Game Boy, the other handheld stuff. Okay. Xbox didn't have a.
I already know my answer. This is not hard for me.
I mean, it shouldn't be hard for anybody.
It's not.
It's not going to be hard.
I'm pretty sure everybody has round and rounds of getting rid of Xbox.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a hard one.
It's not just because I like PlayStation more than Xbox. I don't really care. It's because out of all of them, Xbox don't got no games.
That is the argument everybody puts.
That is the only argument.
You are not wrong.
That is the reason. Especially back in the day with PlayStation 2 versus Xbox. Why would you choose the Xbox over PlayStation 2 when they had everything?
It had Halo.
PlayStation 2 had everything. Everything.
Yeah, it did have everything.
PlayStation has God of War and Spider-Man and
back in those days,
and Spider-Man and Spider-Man.
Back in those days, that's when the Final Fantasies were exclusive to PlayStation.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, PlayStation had
Yeah.
plethora of JRPGs.
Xbox just now, they finally getting Xbox. They're finally getting Final Fantasy games. We've been had them. It's just
Which, by the way, we're not talking about this today, but Demon Slayer is getting a video game, and it's only on PlayStation.
my point. Another exclusive.
Exactly.
Another one. It's just Xbox is gonna die.
The way he said that.
Xbox is gonna die.
You know, even though they announced the new Xbox is gonna be backwards compatible with all the other games,
Yeah.
but what games? Are they gonna go back and play Halo again? Like,
The same ones you can play on PlayStation.
There's some games like Gears of War.
they're not gonna go back and play the old Gears of War when they got the new one.
Duke Nukem.
The game that's on PlayStation.
Is
it?
I think
Lost
it is.
Odyssey.
And you're done. And you're done. I didn't even know what that game was. You're done. You're done.
Okay, all right.
Shouts out to Nintendo. Shouts out to Sony.
All right. So we're gonna go into this topic. So for those of you at home or listeners right now, in the comments, I know Last of Us came out like 2012, but I ain't never played Last of Us. This is the whole reason we even do this discussion anyway. And so in order for me to play the second one, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to play the second one.
Got no choice. You're gonna play.
I think the game was. I think this. I never played the game, so you're getting a perspective from someone who's never played the game, but has been listening to all the hype and stuff like people.
Hype. Oh, see, that's when you get it wrong. Don't get hype for games, bro. Just play them, and if you like them, you like them. You don't, you don't.
This is the greatest thing since sliced bread and all that junk. Like,
I don't know why they told you that.
Greatest story and all that junk. I think it's a mediocre game.
Well,
I think it's a mediocre game with a story that I've seen 100 times.
Absolutely.
Yep, I totally agree with you.
But like, if you're gonna, so there will be spoilers in this too for this 10-year-old game. But,
oh my God, is it 10 years old? Y'all
it
lying.
probably is. I don't know. When did it come out?
I think it's 2012.
Handy dandy Google, don't worry. Handy dandy.
Yeah, but I just my quick rundown is I did enjoy it, but it was only I did enjoy the game, but it was only because of the way I played the game. That's what made it enjoyable for me. And
What,
then
you play with your eyes closed?
well, I play with the game. I play the game, giving these hands to everybody. Now,
did you melee everybody?
I meleeed everybody. Now, when I first ran up on a clicker,
oh yeah,
I was like, "Oh, a clicker," and it says on the thing, "Do not fight these dudes hand to hand." I was like,
you did anyway.
I'm about to do this. That clicker folded me. I was like, let me try this again. Man. I continued to get folded maybe like 6 times. And I was like, I gotta use a gun on this thing? No. So I had to look up a way to beat the clicker without like ridiculous my whole point of it was never to use a gun.
Okay.
But there was like without like a weapon, you gotta ninja these dudes. And the first clicker you run up on, you can't ninja him because it's like a cutscene type thing, and you gotta go in at him. And I was like, man, you can't ninja this dude. So I resorted to the bow and arrow, and I just called myself Arrow at that point. I'm like, I'm Green Arrow. You failed this city. Bah, bah,
Oh
bah.
my god.
So I would use like bombs, like the little nail bomb thing, or the Molotov cocktail things.
Yeah.
Whenever I ran into them again. Also, I mean, there are two spots in the game where you have to use a gun, like when you go into the city to go find Bill, and you fall into his trap, and you're hanging upside down. You got to use a gun there. I can't melee.
Yeah.
You couldn't melee anything just upside down. I was like, dang. And then that sniper part when you met the two black kids, who Henry and I can't remember his brother. Yeah, I can't remember his brother's name. But when you go into beat up the sniper guy, and then you sit there and sniper rifle, you have to use a gun there. And then I just resorted to a gun when it swapped to Ellie. I hated playing with Ellie. I was like, I can't throw hands with this little girl. But I mean,
I wish I could have seen you play this.
She was faster than, and then the what is it? The spitter? That's not a spitter. The big one, the bloater. Yeah. You only run into like 2 bloaters in the entire game.
I think that you have to fight, right? Like you got no choice.
I didn't have any items or anything on the bloater, but when I first saw the bloater and he came while you was gym where the school was, and he came in, I was like, you about to get this work, son. And he wrecked me. I was like, oh, I can't bob and weave on him. So I had to use the bow and arrow on that one too. But well, I actually had a crossbow because when I looked up some stuff, I just like, man, this is angering me. I just got the crossbow because I spent the 99 cents and just got the crossbow from the DLC.
Really?
Buy a crossbow?
Like,
what?
Yeah, you get like weapons. You can get weapons. Stuff.
Oh,
I was just
you!
Like, now I'm just
you
get this
cheated.
I'm gonna get that. Ain't cheating. They wouldn't put it out there if I can't.
If I would son of a gun.
It wasn't a gun. It was a crossbow.
Well, son of a crossbow doesn't work. I can't believe you bought a crossbow. All right.
I didn't even know you can buy a crossbow. That's crazy.
Or no, wait. That wasn't for that. No, I take that back. That was for the whatchamacallit? The online stuff.
Oh, did you play the online?
No, I didn't play online stuff. Well, no, I did play stuff a little bit because I had the crossbow.
What you lying for?
Yeah, I did play it.
It's like he's ashamed.
It's okay. We're not gonna ridicule you for it.
I did play it.
I played Last of Us, guys. I'm so ashamed of myself.
I am ashamed. But I mean, but there was majority of it. Oh, and the other part where I had to be resource. The one time I did actually pull out a gun was because I couldn't just go up and just mollywop these dudes with hands. It was the part where you're in the city with Bill and Ellie is in the car and you're pushing up. First off, I'm just like, since when could you just push a car and then start it and it just starts like that? I'm not a mechanic, but I don't know if that works like that.
With a stick shift car, you
could do that. No.
Yeah, it's called push starting a car.
Well, the more you know.
My dad's partly a mechanic, so.
And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Really? G.I. Joe is there. Anyway, when you're pushing the car and those mobs come at you, I was just like, man, I can't sit here and mollywop on these dudes because Bill not doing nothing. But and Ellie is getting attacked in this car, so I'm like, damn it. Pop, pop, pop. But I did have like 80, 90 bullets towards the end of the game.
This sounds like a
Oh.
wonderful playthrough.
Whoa, wait. And then you're forced to use a gun towards the end of the game too when you save Ellie.
Yeah, at the
Oh, yeah.
the hospital place, whatever.
Yeah. So, and I'm not gonna lie, I was mad when Tess died. I saw it. I immediately saw it like when Tess was introduced in the game. I was like, "What, you did?" And then, but I was like, man, I was shipping them so hard. I was like, man, Joe can start something with her, man. Come on, man. And they alluded, well, they kind of teased that there was something in the past, kind of. But I was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
they had a little bit of history.
But then she got bit. I was like, dang. So, oh yeah. So when his daughter dies, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't care. It did not. It did not get him. It did not. Because I was like, man, I don't have this wasn't enough time for me to grow emotional attached to this little girl. Because I called it in the game. I was like, either this little girl, because she's the one you use actually in the very beginning of the game. You're controlling her in the very beginning of the game. I was like, either his daughter either is the cure to all of this, what's going on, or she's gonna die. And without me even knowing about the game, she died. Was it a horrible type of death? I was like, yeah. That was pretty a dick move that soldier did. But and then when we finally see Ellie, when I got Ellie, and I was like, oh, you're the cure. Okay. I already know this. Don't even have to tell me. And then
It's a pretty paint by the numbers story. Yeah, I can agree.
I would just say this right here. I hate Ellie. I hate Ellie with a passion.
Oh my god.
I hate her with a passion. If this game gave me the option to choose your own path and stuff, like you have a decision thing, like in Life is Strange or something like that. Because when she left me the first time she left me, I was like, thank God. Let this bitch die. Nah, we gotta go get her. I was like, and then she talking down and her little teenager voice and everything is talking when you're there. I was like, you're the one who caused all this. This is your fault. I told you what to do, but you didn't listen, you stupid little. And the second time she leaves and she goes to the ranch when you run into Tommy and she runs away, takes a horse, runs away. I was like, I hope she died. I hope she died. We don't have to go find her. You didn't like her in the beginning, Joe. Why? She is not Emily. Is that her name? Is that little girl name Emily?
To his daughter?
Yeah.
His daughter was Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah,
okay.
Who's Emily? Who's Emily?
Some white girl name. I know.
Emily is definitely somebody in the game, though.
Is it okay? Don't handy dandy
I
Google.
think.
Handy dandy Google.
I hate Ellie with a passion.
Yeah, you're not gonna want to play the second one.
Like I said, I told no when and after I beat the game and beat the demo, not the demo, but the DLC and all that. I watched because I haven't seen any of the trailers for Last of Us. I watched the 2 trailers and I was like, oh, this got some issues from the first game. And then the first trailer I watched and everything, I was like, oh, so this game is basically a revenge game, like a revenge story. I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
That's what they're making it out to be, but who knows?
And let's just jump. Let's jump all the way to the ending. Did y'all like the ending of this game?
What do you mean? Like the leading up to the ending, or just
even
the ending, just the ending scene?
Up to the point where you fight dozens of trained soldiers.
Oh, when Joel goes on a murdering rampage.
And I'm a regular guy who might have been a construction worker. I don't know. But and he breaks into the hospital, kills a doctor for a guy who was doing his job. And you break out of there and you kill everybody and you meet Marlene, and then you kill Marlene and you basically lie to Ellie's face and everything, all of it leading up to that part, all the way up to the end where Ellie finally says, I had a friend with me. My home girl was with me the entire time when I got bit, but she had died, and she asked him everything he said about the fireflies was true, and he said he swear on it, and she told him to swear. When she said swear to me, I was like, oh man, you sound like Batman. Swear to me. But
I knew you were gonna say that.
I feel like Ellie knew he was lying.
I'm pretty sure she knows.
He wasn't telling
and I'm thinking that's why you don't see Joel in the trailer. Well, you don't see Joel in a lot of the trailers for the second game, because I'm pretty sure she knows. She's found out something, and she's like, you know what, Joel, I don't like you. I love you and everything, but you messed up.
Joel shows up. Well, that was a cinematic in the first trailer towards the end. He does show up at the end, but there's a second trailer that Joel actually shows up. Like you see Joel.
I haven't even watched the second trailer.
Yeah, there's a second trailer where she's like hiding behind something, and she's trying to hide from somebody because they're looking for her, and a hand covers her mouth, and she starts to panic at first, but for some reason she stops panicking, and then the hand takes it off her takes the hand off her mouth, and you see old man Joe, who I just instantly thought, I was like, oh man, that's old man Logan. That man turned into Wolverine. That's what.
Which, look, this is a huge side note. Everybody wants a Last of Us movie. You don't need it. You have Logan. It's the same thing. I mean, right down to Hugh Jackman looking exactly like Joel.
Yeah.
But like, the reason it makes me think that she knows something is because she and Joel are not on good terms. In those trailers.
But
she does not like him for some reason. Something happened. Well, and
from what I heard is they drifted apart. And one theory of someone's is the reason why they drifted apart is probably because, when Joel saves her from the hospital, it's at that point he kind of quote unquote adopts her as his daughter, basically, as his daughter. And if you notice, like after that point, when you're playing as them and they're walking to Tommy's little settlement and everything, he's like almost like smothering her with love and all that. And in her head, she's not in the right mindset. Because at first I was like, why the fuck am I why is she just like, excuse me, I guess I'm sorry if any little kids are listening. But I was just like, man, why is she all spacing out like that? I get why she was spacing out, because she just killed the dude who was it's implied that he was about to rape her.
Oh, yeah.
But she brutally murdered that man.
Well, he deserved it. I'm sorry.
But let me ask y'all this. Do you think what Joel did was right? Did he do the right thing?
Yeah.
Or do you call that selfish?
I say yes and no.
I've thought about this a lot since this is the first time I played this game.
I say yes and no because Ellie didn't know that she was going to die for it, right?
I feel
Yeah,
like
she didn't know.
She didn't know that. I think Joe should have saved her. It didn't explain to her if you do this, you're gonna die, and then let her make the decision. And if she still wanted to die for it, then hey, chop her head off.
I think it's also partly the Fireflies' fault because they should have kind of been upfront with the whole the risk of the surgery and everything because really it shouldn't have even been Joel's decision. It shouldn't have been Marlene's decision. It should have been Ellie's decision.
Ellie's, but
I thought it was Ellie's decision. I thought because the way Marlene was saying Ellie wanted it.
Yeah, but Ellie wanted it, but she didn't know she was dying for it. That's why Joe got so mad. Because Joe didn't know either she was dying for it. They never told him that.
Death was not a part of the deal.
Yeah, that's why he got so mad, went on that killing rampage and just killed everybody.
I figured he just got real mad. It was because he was about to lose a second daughter.
That too, he probably got emotionally attached to her. But
yeah,
they just never told. That's when he ran back in because like she's got to die for it. Oh hell no!
Because what's that one part? The one part where Ellie sees the giraffes in the city, and it's like her last moment to be a kid and everything.
Yeah.
And Joel's like, we don't have to do this. We can turn around and go home. And she says, no, we have to finish we have to finish this. At that moment, she still doesn't know that this thing is going to take her life.
I feel like at that moment she knew she was going to die. I think at that moment, like when she saw the giraffes and everything, like I said, that was the last time she could be a kid. I felt like at that moment when she told him we got to see this through, I think at that moment she knew she was going to die. She was going to have to die. That's what I felt like she knew.
I never really thought about it that way.
What about you, Joe, Isaac? What do you think? Do you think Joel did the right thing?
I don't. It's really hard because I'm like, I get really attached to to anybody, characters in video games. So I got really attached to Ellie too. And when I found out she was gonna die because of the surgery, I was immediately in the mindset of, all right, we have to take everybody out and get Ellie out, and this is gonna be the right decision. But then he lies to her by the end, and I was like, I don't like the way this makes me feel because I think we should have been. And you see, I feel like I'm actually in the video game because I said we. It's not Joel, it's we. And it's just no, I don't think he did. Honestly.
So you think he should have just let her die?
No, I think I probably would have done the same thing. Gone in there and saved her, but I would have probably told her.
Oh, okay, yeah, told her like, yeah,
I give you. They were gonna kill you, and I decided I don't like that. And plus, there's no guarantee that this cure thing was ever gonna work. Because I'm pretty sure they said they've done experiments on some people before and came up with no results. Or is that part of the lie that Joel said?
No, that was I think that was part of the lie.
The lie, yeah.
Joel said they found other people like her, and the way he made it seem like to her, like they tried doing this, but it failed. That's why they stopped looking for a cure.
Well, plus that's another thing because he made her feel like she was basic because for most of the time she thinks she's very special because she is immune, so technically she is special. And then he's like, well, we found 5 other people just like you, so it's not really that special. And you could tell she got really down about it, which is why she went back to sleep in the back seat of the truck. So
I could
I
see
don't know. At the
that.
same time, he like belittled her and lied to her, and I I guess kind of manipulated her at the same time. Joel technically is not a very good person.
No, yeah,
I mean,
he was an asshole throughout the whole entire game. Magically
well,
started
frankly, there's
remembering.
not many good people in that
Yeah,
game at
yeah,
all.
yeah. But like I was about to say was, so my thing is, I I understand why he saved Ellie because he saw her as a daughter, like basically
Right.
replacing the one that he lost. I also feel like he was like fuck the world again. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I feel like he was like f the world. I feel like it was a selfish decision, but I feel like at the same time I get where he came from because in the beginning of the game, the world basically took his daughter from him, and
And
then
then he was like, "Y'all not taking it." Yeah, I got
yeah,
you.
and throughout the game, besides these fungi zombie creatures trying to kill you, they're not the monsters. At least to me, the monsters were the humans.
Yeah.
They were the monsters. These dudes were chasing them these cannibalistic guys basically. A group of them was chasing them the entire time throughout the game. They were more of they were the monsters. Actually, at least in my eyes, they were the monsters versus the real monsters of the world. And I feel like with all that what happened, I feel like he was like in his head, F the world, because even if they do get a cure, nothing will change. It probably will just get even worse when you
Right.
cure all those people. Because mankind was already effed up into the beginning, at least to him. So that's why I feel like that towards the end, why he decided to save Ellie, in my opinion, because I don't like Ellie, I would have let her die. But I understand why he saved her. I will ask this though: if y'all had a choice, like if when at that moment the Firefly soldier dude is trying to walk you out, and it comes up where it gives you like 2 second thing to pick one, go say Ellie or leave. What would you would have done?
I would have saved her.
Yep.
I would have saved her. 100% would have saved her.
No, I'm picking that bad.
We know. We know.
my other question would be at the very end of the game where they basically leave it open ended. Also before I get to the other question, I also feel like it doesn't need a sweet sequel. It doesn't need a part two because the way it ended, it felt like a complete ending, at least to me. I know it ended on like a cliffhanger and all that junk. That's the same way the DLC had ended, but I feel like there was nothing else you could really do but age up the character some more and tell another story. I feel like the whole part of like I feel like it was a complete meal. It had a beginning, middle, and end. It was complete. But my
I
next
think
question. What was
I
you gonna
think
say?
it's that way too because it's like, well, two is basically going to be Ellie's story, whilst the first one was Joel's story. So
Yeah.
I guess they just want to do character stories at this point. Hopefully, it's not like Uncharted where he's like, "I retire at the end of this game," and then the next one happens, and he's like, "I'm not retired. I'm just joking."
My next question is at the end when Ellie questions you about the Fireflies, and at that moment they give you one last choice for the game, and it says tell her the truth or keep lying? Which one would you choose?
I'm an honest person. I would have told the truth.
Yeah,
I would have. I can't lie. I would have told the truth.
that part would have been rough. She probably would have pulled a gun and shot Joel, but
I don't know.
Because I didn't see the point of him lying there. That always bothered me about the ending. Like, why lie? Like, that's important. Like, I never saw the. I didn't understand the ending. Like, what was the point of him lying to her?
Yeah,
him lying to her is going to do more harm than good.
Yeah, that's why I would have told her the truth. They was gonna kill you. You was gonna die. And I didn't see the reason. Yeah, it was just stupid. I didn't even see the point of him lying.
well, I feel like the only reason why he lied, well, because he never once told her he cared for her or he saw her as a daughter or anything like that. I mean, his demeanor changed and everything after that. It also changed when she practically saved that man when he fell on that pipe.
Oh,
Yeah.
The last
Oh.
like everything changed.
Oh yeah, he fell on that pipe. Yeah.
I thought Joel was dead, dude.
No, okay, this is my biggest problem with the game. That part right there, I call so much bullshit. So much bullshit. Because I thought he was gonna be like injured. And like we was gonna have to play with Ellie for we did play with Ellie, but I thought he was just completely out. But my man got up, traveled through a snowstorm, fought people off to get back Ellie. There's no goddamn way.
Well, no, at that point, at that point when he fought through the snowstorm and all that, at that point she already gave him the medicine he needed.
I don't care. He got impaled.
That must have been some strong medicine.
His side got impaled.
He
he injected him with some adrenaline or something.
Dog, here's another part. The way he got impaled, and the next scene he just gets back up. It wasn't. It felt like I don't care where you get impaled at. You're not gonna get back up the next day.
No, it wasn't the next day though. That wasn't.
What was it? Like a week? Wasn't a week later? It wasn't 2 days.
It was like
later?
3 months.
It was
it changed seasons.
Yeah, it changed seasons when he got injured, and then she finally was able to get some real medicine, some penicillin, and we don't. That's the other thing. I think that's what it was called. I think that was penicillin. But at that point, when she got captured, when the time frame when she gives the medicine to Joel, and then she leaves again for some reason. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but she leaves again, and then she gets captured by old buddy because he realized who it was. But she gets captured by them. We don't know the time frame through that. That's the other thing I don't like about the game. You only know the season, but it doesn't really tell you a time frame. She could have been captured. She could have been captured for a week
because they were fighting off the hunters and stuff, right?
Yeah, that was.
And then Joe fell and got impaled, and then they were still running. And that's when Ellie got to that mall place and fought them off there.
No, they were looking for her at that point. When they was at the school, when they was at the school in Utah, I want to say, when they were up there at the university, when they were there and he got impaled, he was wobbling around and everything. And then when when the fighting was done and everything, and he tried to get on a horse, he fell off the horse. At that point, it time skipped because it was still fall, I want to say.
Yeah, it was fall, and then he got impaled, and then it turned to winter.
Yeah, because you see in the DLC Left Behind.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Right I think that could have been like I'm telling you that they implied that it happened like the same day. They fought off those hunters. Joe fell and got impaled, and Ellie started running away.
No, because it was snowing and everything.
Once she knew Joe was safe, she had to run away to get him away from Joel.
Because
That's why she ran, right?
I don't think. I'm pretty sure some time passed.
Because time had because you got to think about. Remember this: when we meet, when that time passed, when they faded the black, when Joe fell off the horse, and Ellie was like, "Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do." When he fell off the horse, some time passed because they were in a different location.
Yeah, but I just thought we just assumed that.
No, because when she was fighting in the when she fought in the because the time was wonky. The time skips were wonky. When she fought in the mall, when she was in the mall, he wasn't healed at that point. Because the first time when she fought in the mall is when she was getting the medicine from that helicopter.
Okay, yeah, when Joe got impaled and she had to help Joel on that horse, it started snowing.
No, it didn't.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I'm watching the video. It started snowing. Right after they left, she says, "I think we're safe." And Joe fell out. It started falling off the horse.
Yeah,
it started snowing.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so it implied that happened like the next day or a few hours later. She found that mall and left Joe there.
Yeah, but she didn't. In the game, they're in a house. They're in a house. They're in a house in the game. In the main game, they're in a house when he gets the penicillin and everything, and he gets up. Well, that's when he gets up because she already found medicine and whatnot in that. In the mall. At that point, yeah.
But that's when the DLC takes place. Like you fight mall, and it cuts to Ellie and her friend. I forget her friend's name, but that's when it cuts through. Like it happened at the same time. But if you don't play the DLC, it's just Joel waking up.
No, he wasn't. He didn't. I know it does. It does. I know when it cuts to black and all that. I know the season change. It comes up winter. It says winter because I saw it as they implied there was some time at.
It was
because especially if you play the DLC. If you play the DLC, you see how much you could kind of guess how much time it was because they're in two different locations at that point.
Yeah, dog. I'm pretty sure it happened like a few hours after Joel fell and got impaled. That's when the DLC starts because they implied Ellie found somewhere just to move Joel. But I don't think it wasn't like 2 months or weeks. I'm pretty sure it was either the same day or a couple of hours later. The DLC took place.
No,
Ellie ran away and Joel woke up. That I'm pretty sure.
No, in the DLC.
Yeah, because in the DLC, because remember Joel falls off the horse.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I think like the next scene is Joel waking up.
No.
In the DLC, it's you before he wakes up. You get to see what Ellie was doing right before he wakes up. When Ellie was fighting him off in the mall and stuff, and when she finally runs away, and we finally get Ellie's backstory. No. And that's when he noticed That's when he noticed Ellie gone. He went to go look for her. That's when he travels through the goddamn blizzard.
Nah, he wasn't. He didn't wake up at that point. Because he was still. I mean, because he's still ill.
He was still unconscious. He was still unconscious during the DLC. But that's when the DLC stops and the game picks back up when he wakes up. Ellie's missing.
He don't officially wake up until Ellie gets that medicine. Until Ellie gets when Ellie runs into the dude was about to rape her and buddy and everything. He doesn't wake up until after that point. He doesn't fit. When he wakes up like out of like a cold sweat or something, like he jumps up and everything and wakes up. That's when he wakes up. Before she gets that medicine and everything, Joe wasn't. You do get a cutscene with Joel and Ellie because she leaves. She leaves to go hunt the deer to get more food. Well, yeah, to get food and everything. That's because you get the rabbit and everything. She leaves, and Joe is still like quote unquote sleeping or whatnot. Or
Dog, all that happened the same day. Ellie still got on the same outfit and everything. The deal when Joe falls off the horse, she finds somewhere to go right then and there, and then the DLC starts. It all happened the same day. My man got impaled and traveled through a blizzard all in the same day.
No, it's not. It's not in the same day.
Oh, then it's the next day.
It can't be the next day.
Dog, she has on the same.
It's got to be some more time because they had to go find a house and everything.
They didn't find a house. She was like in a mall, right?
Yeah, in the DLC, at that moment when he falls off the horse, and it cuts to black, they're in a house. During the DLC, they're in the mall because the DLC happens exactly after the point where that happens. So that I guess you could say that was the same day. In the DLC, they're in a mall. And then at the end of the DLC, you see him rap because it is snowing. Yeah, I do remember that snowing and all that. Because she's in the mall. And then at the end of the DLC, you see her wrap him up in like blankets and stuff attached to the horse, like almost like a sled thing. And then they ride off. And then that part basically it skips a couple of months. I would say it skips there is time. You could tell there is time that passed at that point, because at that point then you see them in the house and she's trying to take care of him and whatnot. I guess because I think he had a fever or something like that.
Yeah, Joel may be overpowered, but he's not Superman. There had to be a lot of some more time to pass, and it wasn't all in the same day. I hope it wasn't.
Dog, I'm telling you, they implied it was the same.
No, I don't. I'm
not saying it's the same day, but it's 2 days later.
Because the way you guys are talking about it, it sounds like he gets impaled. She puts him on the horse. He falls off the horse. And immediately after he falls off the horse, she has to go do the mall mission, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then after the mall mission, she gets the medicine, puts him on the sled thing, and then she takes him to wherever this house is. And then maybe I just go with probably like a month or so, possibly 2 months. And then you catch up to her after 2 months or so. Because Joel's, if he was, she had to have time to, stitch up the wound and everything. And it looks like it started to heal and everything because of the medicine. And I don't think she would have gotten medicine just for 1 to 2 days. She probably found enough to tie them over for months, I hope. I'm pretty sure that had to be like months to pass before that happened.
It couldn't have been months.
Before he got
There's
up.
no way it could have been months before he got up.
Well, because like you were saying, it started to snow, yeah. But then by the time, hold on, because if it is the same day that she goes to the mall, it was like covered in snow.
Snow, yeah.
That's possible though. If it started the blizzard, that's possible for it to be covered in snow on the same day.
No, I'm looking at the video right now. When it started to snow, it would still fall. After Joe falls off the horse, it cuts to black and it comes up and says winter. That's what it says. It says winter.
And then she's hunting.
And then she's hunting. And then after she because she's hunting the rabbit right now, and then she gets because she is wearing something different.
Yeah, she changed clothes.
Yeah, she is
So-
changing clothes, and she did change clothes. So the thing I don't like about the game is it doesn't give you a reference of time, but the season changed, so it had to been going into winter.
Yeah.
It had to been at least it had to be at least a month where it just because everything's covered in snow right now, and then she gets the medicine. You don't see Joe. You're just with Ellie this entire time until you do that little thing with Buddy, and then you get the medicine. Then you get the medicine, and then you go back to Joe. Then you go back to Joe, give Joe the medicine. Then after Joe, okay. The reason why she leaves, the reason behind why she leaves is because they tracked her to the because of the horse. They tracked her with the horse tracks from in the snow, which was in my head. I was like, that's dumb too. You probably should have covered your tracks or whatnot. But the reason why she leaves the house is because because the horse starts making sounds, and and then she looks out the window and everything, and she sees the people looking for her at this point, and she is tracked, and then she leaves the house. At that point, she leaves the house. That's why she leaves the house. But Joel is still sleeping at this point, and then when she is captured, the moment the moment when Buddy sneaks up on her in the back and grabs her, and the moment she's captured and then thrown into her little cellar thing, then Joe wakes up. It cuts to Joe, and then it's like he was having a nightmare, and then Joe wakes. And he's still in pain because when he wakes up, he holds his side and everything like that.
And y'all telling me this was months.
It had to be some time. It had to be some time because you see his wound, and it's almost basically healed. And you cannot tell me that a wound can heal in a day. Because the way he got impaled, it still would have been bleeding anyway.
So what month you think you saying it was?
I would
if you had to say a month, what month you think it was?
If I had to say a month or anything like that, it had to be late December, early January, when after the point where he falls off the horse and you see them in the house and everything.
In late December?
I would say late December, early January.
You think it started snowing in late December?
No, it started. I would probably say it started snow because I would say it still was fall, and winter doesn't start. The winter season doesn't start until about second week of December or whatnot.
It's December 21st is when winter starts.
So I think it started.
I don't know why I know that.
I would say it started to snow probably to tail end of November, maybe the 3rd or the beginning of the 4th week of November.
Plus, you got to think they're in Utah. We live in Georgia, so snow is a rare thing for us.
Yeah.
In Utah, they get snow pretty quickly.
Okay, they get snow pretty quickly. So you're telling me.
And the moment your clothes thing, what you say, there's no way it could have happened the next day.
The next day could have happened 3 days later. All I'm saying is there's no way he got impaled and could have traveled through that blizzard.
But he was already healed. That I would say he was he was well enough at that point. He was well enough where he could have moved. The Blizzard, that's just another thing. It's also a video game.
I know, but I'm just saying. But this is a video game that was,
That was what?
that was trying to be realistic. With the sneaking around and stuff. You can't make a sound like.
I don't know if it was trying to. The aim for it was trying to be realistic.
All I'm saying, dog, it had to be no more than a week.
Well, I think the problem here is the fact that the game didn't explain this well enough. We wouldn't be having this argument.
Having no more than a week. And then I think the DLC should have been in the game. I think it would have made the game more, because I didn't like the way it just cut it till we had to play with Ellie. Oh no, it just cut to winter. And we had to play with Ellie for a little bit, and then Joel just wakes up.
I
think it felt like they cut the game.
If they had, they probably didn't have the DLC planned out when they did the original game.
Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
I can't think of the word. I feel like the DLC, it's almost like how deleted scenes in movies get deleted. I don't think at that moment where you play the DLC, I don't think the DLC needed to be in the game, in the main game. Because the DLC is all around Ellie, and you find out about her past, and then.
But that's the whole reason why we're doing this adventure, because of Ellie's past.
No, we're doing the adventure because Ellie is immune to the.
And then we find out how she got bit and stuff. Why she didn't man explain why she's immune, but we saw how she got bit, the past that's leading up to everything. If she never got bit, if she just would have stayed in her dorm room, Joe and Ellie would never met.
You could say the same thing about if Joel and Tess didn't take this thing, Joel and Ellie would have never met either.
What do you mean, take what?
Take the job from Marlene. If they just said no.
Well, no, they took the job to get the guns back.
Yeah, Tess wanted the guns back. And Joel didn't want to do it in the beginning. If Joel just was like, nah, you're on your own, then Joel Joel was still an asshole type character in the beginning of the game.
No, I think he did want the guns back too. That's why he was gone.
I don't think he wanted the guns. Because the way he was acting, he didn't care one way or another for these guns. I feel like the only reason why he joined the Logon was because Tess was the quote unquote boss of this little ragtag group, and he was listening to Tess.
Nah, he wanted the guns back too.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. Because someone who wants the guns, he wouldn't argue with her. Which I'm watching the video right now of that point. He's arguing with her about it, and she's the one who came around made him come around, so he goes and do it.
Okay, well, he does it. They didn't know Ellie was going to be a part of the thing.
They didn't know what they all Marlene said was a package, and then they find out that Ellie is the package, and you gotta think about this too. The only reason why they her being affected was because they got caught by the soldiers, and then they had the little thing that gave them. If you could also put that in the moment, if they didn't get caught by the soldiers, you wouldn't even know Ellie was a cure. All they knew was Ellie was the package, and they needed to get her to the fire.
All I'm saying is, I think the DLC should have been in the game, because it would have just made it a full circle. We would have. What happened if they never made the DLC? You would never care if you wouldn't want to see how Ellie got bit or nothing. That doesn't matter,
because it don't matter. It really, am I honest? My bias aside against Ellie, my bias aside, you got enough information. All this did was just show you when Ellie got bit and why Ellie got bit at the time. But you got throughout the game, you already had enough information throughout the game of they told her she got bit, and that's all you really need to know. The moment she got bit, and they told her this happened 3 weeks ago. Her arm is like this for 3 weeks ago. And Tess was like, normally when you get bit, it happens. You start to change in 2 days, less than 2 days. But you saw that with Henry too. You saw that with Henry.
But it completes the story. They wanted us to know why Ellie got bit.
No. That I think you're looking at it a different way. The DLC is mainly to show you the relationship with Ellie's friend that was mentioned at the end of the game. That's what the DLC is 100% for. And then
that is not what the DLC is 100% for. It's to show what happened after Joel fell off the horse.
No, yeah, I was finna get to that. They just sprinkled that because they swap from time. They switch back and forth from the present and the past.
I think the DLC.
And I think the only reason they even put that in with what happened to Joel was like, oh, we could do this, because I think it was just cut content because it was honestly you didn't really need to know what happened after Joe got impaled and fell off the horse. You don't really need to know. You can just use your content because it's like, well, Ellie was been taking care of him this entire time. I understand. I get where you're coming from, but I also feel like I get why they cut this part out of the game. Because I see it as like a movie. Because it's basically the game is almost like a movie. Yeah.
So you're telling me they can cut stuff out and not need it? This isn't a movie. It's a video game.
But they do all this. They do stuff like this all the time.
And that's the problem. They cutting stuff out the video game and then sell it to people for money. This led up. This wasn't usually DLC is like a side story that doesn't really matter. But this DLC took place in the game. Usually DLCs are like some side mission, just some extra stuff. This wasn't extra stuff. This was important to the story. It showed us how Ellie got bit. It showed us her friend she cared for. It showed what happened, what Ellie was going through while Joel was injured. I think this is one of the DLCs that need to be in the game. This is the reason why I don't think the game's that. I think the game is average. Because that whole part didn't make sense.
What?
I think they made a decision to cut to make this part DLC because it seems like I probably would have written it in a way where, like, imagine if they don't get stopped by that soldier towards the beginning of the game when you find out that Ellie's immune. Imagine that part doesn't happen, and then it goes all the way through the game. Joel gets impaled, falls off the horse, and then that's where they put the DLC at, or at this point, it wouldn't be DLC. But that's when you find out that Ellie is immune. But it would have taken too long to get to that point, and I feel like they probably took it out because they wanted to get that point across way earlier in the game than if they had put the DLC in the game in the first place. If that makes any sense.
I just don't see how it doesn't make sense. That's it. Or how things didn't add up, because I followed the plot. I followed the plot. Thing, all the cutscenes, because normally I just skip cutscenes, but I followed everything, and it seemed like a coherent thing. And then the DLC was just
that 2 months after you talking about it made sense that we were supposed to imply 2 months after he got impaled. 2 months went past.
Yep, because the only thing that pops up, because throughout the game you see the when something big happens or they trying to do a time skip, a season
So the game wanted me to apply that 2 months went past after he got impaled.
I'm not saying 2 months passed, but I can see. I can
enough amount of time went past, but for him to get impaled, get healed, and do all the stuff he did.
Yeah,
I guess so. Shoot.
Throughout the game,
it's obviously what they wanted.
I mean, but even when you did that, even when he wakes up, he's still sloggy. You feel it in the mechanics of the game. I don't know how long it's been since you played the game. It is fresh in me. He plays differently. He plays 100% differently.
That's why I implied it took place by maybe like a week.
It can't be a week though.
That's why he was different. That's why he wasn't fully healed at all. He got wrapped up in some band and got some medicine, and that's it. That's it. That's why I implied it took place for like maybe a week. Ellie was on the run for like a week.
I don't.
It don't make sense.
I mean, I hope that's not the case. But
well, I'll tell you,
I swear
that's why I think the DLC should have been in there so we can see what Ellie was doing and stuff. Don't just cut to your main character you're playing with the whole game gets impaled. Now we're playing with Ellie, and then now we play with Joel again. Don't tell me that means you're implying like 2 months went past. Because we played for Ellie. If you didn't play the DLC, you play for Ellie for like a day, and then Joel wakes up, right?
No, Joel doesn't wake up at the end of the DLC.
I know. I'm not talking about the DLC. Let's say we never played the DLC. How long do we play with Ellie?
You play with
how many days go past
in the game? The main game?
The main game, not the DLC.
I don't. Like I said, I don't know. There's no sense of time throughout this. You can't say anything about clothes or anything like that. There's no real sense of time except for when the seasons come up. There's no real sense of time. No real sense of time in this game. So you don't really know how much time. It could be the same day. It could not be the same day. It could be the same day 3 hours from now.
Okay,
it could be a week from that that time. We don't know. You don't know.
When winter started,
yeah.
When Joel fell off the horse and winter started, how long is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was at the beginning of winter when it started snowing. I don't know if it was
in the beginning of winter. It can blizzard. Just because it's the beginning of winter, don't mean it can't snow hard.
Isn't just gonna come out of nowhere.
It can though. I used to live in Buffalo. It can. It can be no snow at all, and then just a lot of snow the next day.
And that blizzard, when the blizzard did quote unquote happen, there's no way it could have happened. There's no way it just could have happened in the same day when Joel just magically wakes up when he gets impaled and like that, because it wasn't even.
Dog.
They were in Utah.
They were, like, I'm telling you, man. I used to live in these type of like it can blizzard Monday. It can be clear, and then it can blizzard on Tuesday, and then it's just full of snow.
They were in Colorado.
Yeah,
that's where the school was.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it can have. They didn't make. It's not clear. All I'm saying is Joel is Superman.
I don't know what else to say.
Because I'm telling you, man. Okay, let's say the time skip happened in winter, right? We're playing with Ellie.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, and then like that was even a full day. We literally played. She went on. She ran into what's his name, and then the next scene, Joel wakes up. It all happened in a week. This
I guess that if that's your headcanon, if that's the reason why you think the DLC should have been in the game or whatnot, and you don't think
dog, because I remember it because I was like, what? Because when I first played it, because I didn't even know the DLC existed. When I first played The Last of Us, I played it late. I didn't even know the DLC existed. And then when he just wakes up, I'm like, what? Because he's still in pain. Remember, like you said, he plays different. So it had to be recent. After he gets impaled and fall, he has to wake up like a week.
You can still be in pain for something like that, even after a week. It could be months until that pain goes away. I gotten stabbed so many times in my my left hand from work, deep cuts. I still feel pain in my knuckles to this day, and that happened over 3 years ago. So you can still have that pain the way he had after that point, without even it being a week or whatnot.
It was a week.
I mean, like I said, if
maybe
that's what,
it was a week.
If that is the headcanon you want,
because if it doesn't make without the DLC, it doesn't make sense. The DLC makes it.
I feel like I mean, Isaac, you can say what you want to say on this, because like I feel like it made perfect sense. Everything makes perfect sense. The game the whole game makes perfect sense and everything. And he does play differently.
I've never had to really question it, because when it goes straight to it starts snowing and then it says winter, I was like, oh, okay, that means a couple months passed.
Yeah, some time passed. That's what
then if you what's the word? If you compare it to the other season changes in the game, where like at the end of the winter chapter, it's snowing and then it goes straight. What's the next season? Spring. It goes straight to spring. 0 snow, super nice and sunny outside. So either the part with Ellie that you play is further into winter and almost getting close to spring, or if it's like Noah says, it's at the beginning of winter, the whole thing with the cannibals happens, they live through the winter, and then it's spring. I've never really had to think about it, so
because it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I'm saying the DLC makes it still don't make sense. DLC, it just makes more sense. DLC. Because remember, it was snowing. It was a lot of snow in the mall too. Because it wouldn't. I'm telling you,
there was a big hole where that part because a helicopter crashed.
Exactly. It wasn't just. All I'm saying is it don't make no sense. I don't think Joel should have got up. My man's about 50 years old. You telling me he can get in?
No, he's not.
Okay, what is he? He was already about 30 when his daughter died, and then then the time skip happened at the beginning of the game. He had to be at least 45.
He was definitely 50 something because there's a 20-year gap from when his daughter dies to the next time you see him.
So my 50-year-old grandpa got impaled and got up a week later, fought zombies, clickers, hunters, went through a blizzard to save Ellie. I don't care.
He didn't fight any clickers.
Well, whatever. I don't care. He shouldn't have got up. That part didn't make no sense. For them to make it realistic, it didn't make sense.
I don't think the game was going for realism though, because if the game was going for realism, some of the stuff when you play with Ellie, Ellie was overpowering grown ass men and stuff like that, and she's a little girl. That's not realistic. I don't think no little girl can overpower a grown ass man like that. And then some of the stuff that I would assume that these zombies have somewhat better strength wise, at least these clicker stuff. But you telling me that Joe can sneak up on somebody and put them in a headlock like that and just make them go to sleep? I don't. There's a lot that happens in this game that is not real. There's just
Yeah, Joe can do that. The sleeper hold. Somebody fighting them, they go to sleep.
I don't think he put anybody's. I'm pretty sure he killed everybody he put his hands on.
I'm just saying they was going for a realistic. They did the same thing on Uncharted. They go for this realistic feel with these type of games. They want to be realistic, even though Uncharted is not realistic at all. But
nope, not at all.
They was going for a mature. It was a mature game. It was mature themes. They was going for a realistic feel.
I that's your opinion. That's all I really could. I don't know what else to really. I don't really know. I don't know what else to honestly say about your viewpoint of it.
Dog, my viewpoint is right. It was a week. She was on the run for a week, trying to get some food. Okay. It was a week.
Okay.
Maybe 2 weeks.
Okay.
Joel was Superman. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Okay. That's I mean, sure. If that's how you feel, I mean that's your opinion. If y'all feel like he's right in the comment, somebody say that in the comment. Tell him like, yeah, Noah was right. but
also really in the comments, if you're from Naughty Dog, please explain yourself.
I'm just saying, it really killed my like a game. So like, look at Joel, a dead man walking in springtime. This is crazy. I don't know. And then when people tell me the giraffe scene was emotional, I was like, no, it don't make. It's just the live giraffes around. No, I'm good. It don't make no sense.
I guess it makes perfect sense to me, and the other million people who played the game.
Because first of all, let's talk about these million people. You're talking about these PlayStation people that think every exclusive PlayStation game is amazing, regardless, unless it's like just completely bad. The Last of Us was completely average game with average story with the same old gameplay other games like this had. I don't really see what made Last of Us so special. They did the same thing when Horizon Zero Dawn came. They said that game was amazing, but that game was ass.
That game sucks.
That game was ass.
I hate that game.
Cheeks. I was so mad. I paid $60 for that game. But that game got amazing scores.
I mean, that's different opinions, man.
Man,
I haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn.
Don't.
I can't tell you on that, but right now with Last of Us, I know. I'm just saying,
but my thing was because they're PlayStation exclusives, they think these games are amazing, but this game was average. People get blinded by that. This is a PlayStation exclusive. This is what's selling the console, so this game has to be amazing. Since the game was average, they think it was amazing.
It was average to you, though, Noah.
It was average. What was so special about it? What did it do?
I can tell you that.
Go ahead.
Because I see the game's flaws and everything. I'm not blind. I love PlayStation. It's a good exclusive. But the reason I personally liked it so much is not because of the story, because I've seen the story before. We've seen these characters before. But I think it's like voice acting and acting in general goes a long way, plus music, because the music in this game is fantastic, and I have a whole playlist for it. It's good music, man. I can go to sleep to this, man.
I'm with you, man. I don't got no complaints there. I'm with you.
It's just, it's like, it's a good, compelling story, not with the end goal, but it's everything that happens along the way and the way they portray it. And like, this game wasn't afraid to go dark and, frankly, just straight up murderous sometimes. Because you know how you play some games where you're a powerhouse kind of character and you feel good killing all these people. And this guy, I felt horrible. So I'm like, I know I have to do this, but these people are gurgling in my ear every time I kill them, and it's not cool. It's voice acting, it's the acting, it's the music. It's some of the gameplay, not all of it, because some of it's just annoying. The fact that you can't throw hands on a clicker is kind of frustrating, but that's okay.
I tried multiple times.
I know you did. There's nothing bad about trying it.
I was like, you will
I
not.
mean, unless you have a shiv. I'm pretty sure a shiv is what does it.
Shivs. That's how you have to sneak up on them with the shiv to instant kill them, or you have to have like a cocktail or the nail bomb thing. You have to have like some kind of special throwable or something like that to take them down, because you can't 1v1 him. No, you cannot 1v1 them.
But I think that's why, personally, why the game is lauded. It's not because of the gameplay. It's because they brought a new level of voice acting. Plus, motion capture and everything. The way they did all the cutscenes.
Yeah, the whole game is. Well, the cutscenes in general are motion captured by the voice actors themselves.
Plus, it's a pretty game. It is pretty. I mean, compared to some stuff that's come out today, it's not that pretty anymore. But at the time, it was one of the prettiest games to come out at the time, I think.
All right. Though in the end, if you ask me if I enjoyed the game, I did enjoy the game. If you want to ask me, am I hyped or do I want to play the second one? No, I really don't want to play the second one.
I'm not hyped for the second one. I thought the game was a 7.
But like, yeah, if you ask me, what would I, with all my biases aside, like, because I'm not the target audience for survival horror type games. I don't play those type of games. But if I have to, with the way I guess with the way I played the story and everything, the characters, because I did like some characters. I did like a lot of characters. Because I did like Joe. There was times where you basically could project yourself on Joe. But I like Joe. I like Bill. I even like the two kids that they ran into earlier. I mean, it does have a lot of
the black kids.
Yeah, the black kids. It does have a lot of likable characters in here and everything, and it did feel like I was playing like either a movie or some kind of sitcom. But like, if I had to give this a score, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10 if I had to give it a score. Without all my biases and all my picks out the way of it as a game as itself, I give it a 8 out of 10. I don't think I'd replay it. I don't think it has any replay value over it. But as just a game as a whole, just playing the game, I would probably give it an 8. And I'd probably, if someone asked me, like, do you think this Last of Us is good? I'd be like, yeah. I would probably recommend the game. Like, if you like those type of games, those type of survival horror type games with stealth and whatnot, then this will be right up your alley. I see why people hold it as high as it is. Holds the praise for it as high as it is.
I still don't know why, but
I get that. With my bias and stuff aside, I get why it has held as high as a high regard as it is.